name is AWright, and my topic is engineering. Well, at least that's what I call it. It's women in engineering. So when I approached this project, I wanted to get the most out of it that I could. And being my senior year, I knew I was applying to colleges, and I knew I was interested in engineering, but I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to go into engineering. So I didn't know if I wanted to apply to engineering schools or the schools of engineering within the schools. So I decided to do my topic on engineering to get experience. And at the beginning, I was in between my internship with MC Dean or Continental Tires Culpeper plant, and I eventually decided to do Continental Tires, the Culpeper plant. And I was surprised to figure out they don't make a single tire in their Culpeper plant. Instead, they make braking blocks. Braking blocks are pictured here. They are blocks of aluminum that are drilled with holes that are then shipped to Morganton, North Carolina, where valves are attached as well as a motor. These valves are placed. This braking block is placed into a car, and it's a hydraulic-based system. So the valves are attached to tubes, which are attached to tires, and they are able to analyze the amount of pressure on each of the tires, and it will stabilize the car by either putting more or less braking pressure on each of the tires to prevent it from slipping. So my first day, I arrived at Continental Tires Culpeper plant at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I met my contact person, Miss Michelle Hildebrand. Miss Hildebrand herself is not an engineer, but she put me in contact with all of my other mentors. So when I arrived at 8, she gave me what I was going to do that day and who I was going to be with. And then she gave me a quick tour of the plant floor. Then we went to the 8:30 meeting. The 8:30 meeting happens every day, and all of the directors of all of the departments at the plant come together and discuss what happened over the night shift, what goals they have today, and what problems they have to face. And this is also where I met Mr. Jason Deal. Mr. Jason Deal was who I job shadowed on my first day. He is a graduate of the Michigan Institute of Technology, and he is an electrical engineer. His title at Culpeper is engineering manager. As engineering manager, he attends a lot of meetings, and he is the head of many different departments. In the meetings, so he doesn't directly go onto the plant floor, he uses his engineering expertise to make decisions that affect everyone in the plant. Now, my second day of internship was nothing like the first. I interned with, or job shadowed with Mr. Dave Rosia. Mr. Rosia is the continuous improvement manager. A continuous improvement manager at Continental Tires is the person that reduces waste. And this does not mean just material waste. This means waste in time, waste in money, and waste in energy. So my day with him consisted of taking an in-depth tour of the plant floor. He talked with a lot of the people who were working on the machines to see if they had any ideas of how to improve the process and what they thought were problems with the plant. It was his job to implement all of the solutions that the people on the plant floor thought of. He said that that is the most important part of his job is to listen to what the people that are working there had to say and then put in their solution. Now, my third day interning was my favorite day. I interned with Mr. Don Sanner, and he is a mechanical engineer. And his day, he was mostly on the plant floor fixing problems. There were many different problems that he was fixing that day, and he says that every day is like that. So the first time I met him, he was working on a machine, and he was replacing the tool bits of the drills that were drilling holes into the aluminum blocks. And he said that he's been working on this machine because this machine was causing him a lot of trouble, and they kept on breaking the tool bits, and he had to figure out why that was happening. And then he also showed me another problem that he was having to fix is that there was a lot of scuffing on the aluminum blocks, and he had to figure out which machine was doing the scuffing and why, because that is a quality issue, and the quality engineer was telling him that he had to fix it. So I job shadowed him all day as we were going through all the machines and trying to figure out what the machines were doing wrong. And this was my third day there, third and final day, but still a lot of the technology words and vocabularies went right over my head, but he was very helpful. He answered all my questions. And at the end of the day, I felt accomplished. And I felt accomplished because I had decided that I wanted to be an engineer. So that being said, that led me to my research question, which is why is there such a big disparity between men and women in the engineering workforce? When I started my research, it became apparent that this is a big problem. So according to the National Student Clearinghouse, in 2013, only 19% of the engineering bachelor's degrees were awarded to girls. So that's about a 4-to-1 ratio of engineering bachelor's degree being awarded to boys compared to girls. And this disparity translates into the workforce. In the workforce, about 30% of the people are women. This is a broad overview of all of engineering. Each department is different. In environmental engineering, 33.8% are women, but in mechanical engineering, 7.9% are female engineers. And this is according to the National Science Foundation in 2012. So there are a lot of possible reasons for this problem, and this includes that when children are younger, boys are typically steered towards the hard sciences and math, while girls are typically steered towards English and the arts. Now, this isn't true for everyone, but this is just a stereotype. And my solution for this possible reason for this problem is to create a class that is required for all students in public schools to take in order to show both girls and boys what engineering really is. Now, this class I would implement in the younger ages, such as either elementary school or middle school, so that way if the student decides that they don't actually want to go into engineering, it won't disrupt their high school career where they go and take classes that they want to focus on. So the class would be required for all students, so that way both girls and boys, whether they want to or not, they are exposed to engineering, so that way they know that it is an option. Because it is my belief that if you show them that it is an option, there will be more people that will learn about engineering, and then possibly more girls will go into engineering. Now, since this class isn't implemented yet, I created my own event for my community service. My community service event I called Girls in Engineering, and I opened it up to all the Girl Scouts in Greene County. I chose the Girl Scout organization because 1, I am a Girl Scout, and 2, I know that the younger Girl Scouts are willing to try anything new. Now, my mentor right here, her name is Miss Beth Malott. She's an engineer herself, and she is also head of all the Girl Scouts in Greene County. She was extremely helpful for me. She put me in contact with all of the Girl Scouts' parents so that I could contact them about my event. She also helped me secure a place for my event. She also put me in contact with Miss Tracy Cheek, who is pictured here. She is a chemical engineer at the National Ground Intelligence Center, and she has a daughter who is a Girl Scout. So she volunteered to speak at my event, which I gladly accepted. My event started out with me giving a short presentation about what engineering is, how engineering affects their life, and why I myself want to be an engineer. After my short presentation, Miss Tracy Cheek took the floor and she explained how she came into engineering and what she does on a day-to-day basis. After that, I split the girls into 3 groups and set them to do 3 different activities. I was lucky. I had 3 friends come with me to help me out. Savannah Stevens and Grace Talley, they are both interested in engineering. And Katie Pentella, she is a Girl Scout herself, so they were all willing to help me with my event. My first activity was a paper structure activity. In the group, the girls were paired off into 2s, and they were given 2 pieces of paper and a piece of tape. And they had to create the tallest structure that they could out of those materials. Savannah helped me with this activity by measuring the towers and helping the girls where they needed the help. The second activity was a foil boat activity. They were given a piece of aluminum foil and had to make a boat out of it. And they wanted to see how many paper clips that it could hold before it sank. Katie helped me out here by counting all the paper clips and helping the girls, and as well as cleanup. We needed quite a bit of cleanup on this. Now, the third and final activity was the straw rocket. Each of the girls was given a piece of paper, a straw, and a piece of tape, and they had to create a rocket out of it. Grace was very helpful on this as to direct them to an answer and not giving them the answer straight out, just like an engineer would not have the answer right in front of them. So out of the 22 girls that were there, 22 girls said that they did enjoy the event, and 21 of the 22 said that they would like to attend an event similar to this one. So the legacy portion of my project is in two parts. The first part is I talk to the 4th and 5th graders who are about to start their Bronze Award projects for Girl Scouts. For a Bronze Awards in Girl Scouts is when you see a problem in your community and you take steps to solve that problem. And I told them about the engineering design process and other engineering principles that could help them with their Bronze Awards, because I have done my Bronze Award and currently doing my Gold Award. And I know that these principles and ideas have helped me throughout my Girl Scout career. The second part of my legacy is just exposing girls to engineering. I wanted to show them that this is an option. If they want to take it, they can. At the end of my event, 10 of the girls said that they were interested in engineering, and 3 of them said that they're kind of interested in engineering. So right here in this group, that is a higher percentage of girls that are interested in engineering than the national average of women in the engineering workforce. So I think that is promising. So my advice to to rising seniors is to, first of all, do a topic that you're interested in. I thought I might be interested in engineering, and I ended up deciding that I want to be an engineer. And the second thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help. If I had to take care of these 22 girls all by myself, I don't know what I would have done, but I had 3 friends that would help me, and that was because I asked for help. Now, next year, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I might go to UVA, I might go to Virginia Tech, still up in the air. I have until May 1st to decide. So, yeah, thank you. Are there any questions?
What did you notice about the girls as they started participating in the activities? Were they really enthusiastic about it from the get-go, or were they like hesitant?
No, the girls that signed up, they were all really excited to be there. So I started out my presentation going like, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? And I was actually really surprised how put together their lives were. Like when I was their age, like I had from 1st graders to 5th graders. So like the 1st graders knew what they wanted to do when they grew up, like actually what they wanted to do. When I was in 1st grade, I was like, princess. But no, I had a 1st grader say she wanted to be an architect. I had another one say she wanted to be a doctor. They had their lives put together. They knew what they wanted, and they came into the event. They just went at it, and they're like, oh, give me the paper. I want to try this, or give me the aluminum foil. They wanted to participate in it. And I actually found that really exciting, because I was afraid I was going to get some girls that their parents just signed them up for. I was going to have to try to make them enthusiastic, but they came with enthusiasm.
How did you come up with the idea?
So I had to do research online, but also I had done the aluminum foil activity at a SWE event, which is the Society of Women Engineers at UVA. And I thought it was fun, and I was older, and I'm like, well, younger kids can do that. I also did the paper structure there. But the straw rockets I found online, and I thought it would be fun because I have an older brother, and I thought it would be fun if I had that to annoy him, but he's out of the house now. Yeah.
Do you think that if you do the event that you did again, maybe next year or whenever, do you think you'll have more girls or more participants willing to go forth do this activity? And also, would you make it would you have older kids, like middle schoolers, also be involved as well in this?
So my plan is also to I've already given my schedule to Miss Malad, my mentor for my community service. So if she wishes to do the event again, she can. I think there will still be interest in it, because I actually heard some of the girls say that they had friends that want to be an engineer. So I think that there is an interest in it. So also, if I was to do it again, I would open it up to more girls, because instead of just Girl Scouts, I just knew that this was an easy way to get the word out, was through Girl Scouts, because I knew Miss Malad, and I knew that she would give me the information I needed to contact the girls. But if I was to do it again, I would open it up to more people, and I think there would be enough interest.